What's going on, YouTube? Bay Mechanic here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the valve cover gasket on this 2008 Chevy Malibu. So let's get started. To get started, first thing you want to do is remove your negative terminal battery with a 10 millimeter. Next, remove this oil cap so you're able to move that. Then grab yourself a flathead screwdriver. Then we are going to undo this here so we can pop it off there. Next, grab yourself some pliers and undo this, or you can just pull it off here as well. As you see, this hose is pretty messed up for this customer, which hopefully we'll replace that soon as well. But we're just gonna go ahead and unplug that from there and remove this cover out of our way. Okay, now with that cover out the way, we're gonna go ahead and remove and disconnect these connections so we can start working our way around to loosen up this wiring harness. Then we're gonna go ahead and take off this other hose here, clamp this down, remove out of our way, and then I'll show you guys where we are at then. All right, y'all, as you see, took these off. Now what I went and did, I just took off the 4 10 millimeter bolts and removed my coils out the way. I did actually decide to keep the connections connected to the coils because it was kind of necessary to remove that. Then going around, you want to kind of pop this off so it gives you more access here. Then you come in around, you pop this out of here. Then coming around, you get this hose out of this here, which I did take that off, which this is this hose here. So after you get all that done, next, what we want to go ahead and do is obviously locate our bolts, which, you know, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. These are the bolts that we will need to remove this valve cover and replace the gasket. As you see, this customer here has a ton of leak. As you see, all that is oil coming from the valve cover gasket. As you see, that is just completely covered. This throttle body also needs some cleaning, but anyway, that's for a different day. So yes, now we're gonna go ahead and remove those 10 millimeter bolts. Also this bolt right here, which I almost forgot about. You're gonna remove this, get this bracket out your way, then remove the 10 millimeters, and that cover should be off. All right, y'all. My bad about the extra noise in the background. Got some construction going on. But as you see, got the valve cover off. I forgot to mention there was another bolt right here down there. You need like an extension to get to. And then to really pull the valve cover off, this bracket right here needs to get loosened up. 13 millimeters right there, and then you're able to get the valve cover off. Now, as you see, this engine doesn't seem to be in the best shape. You know, you guys want to avoid your engine looking like this by doing your oil changes on time, so it doesn't look this black and corroded. So now what we're gonna do is clean all these around the surface up completely, make sure it's all nice and ready to go. And this is what we're looking at, the valve cover here. As you see, this thing is pretty nasty. These inner seals are all going to get replaced, as well as the gasket. I always recommend getting the valve cover itself replaced if you can, if it's in your budget, because that's always a good recommendation. But if you don't have that and you can only afford the gasket, as you see, this is why we had a leak, a major one in this area. At least there was leaks pretty much everywhere, all over, but the major one was coming out of here, and it's because of that. So we got some new gaskets. I'm gonna go and take these old ones off, replace, make sure we clean the surfaces. All this has to get cleaned up on the edges so that valve cover can go back on nicely. Don't forget to clean also around those areas as well. All right, so as you guys can see right here, the surface is pretty much all cleaned up all around the best it could. Then I went ahead and put the new gaskets on. As you see, this is not hard like the old one, because the old one was pretty sure 20 years old. So now just go ahead and reinstall this cover same way we took it off, pretty much. And then there's a sequence for this bolt pattern for the bolts that you guys need to follow with the torque spec, and I'll leave that on the screen for you guys so you guys can follow that and put this cover back. All right, now that we got that cover back on, we're gonna go ahead and put everything back just the way we took it off. One thing I did forgot to mention, for each of these bolts, including these right here, there is this gasket material type of thing under them, which you do need to replace to avoid leaks coming back. So make sure you replace those and you follow those torque sequences. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put everything back. Start by the brackets, everything back. Then we're gonna go with the coils and put this back over here, connect these, put our throttle body intake portion back, and yeah, we also went ahead and cleaned this throttle body for this customer. So I'll show you guys once we're all back. All right, y'all, as you see, she's running, everything's put back together. As long as you guys follow the same steps, taking everything off, you should be good. Please drop a like, follow, subscribe the channel for more content, and until next time, peace.